Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Sunday, May the 17th, the year's 2020. Let's talk trading weekly app. Now, fellow traders, you all know these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. And when you trade, make sure your risk management is in place. Do not lose any more on any one particular trade than you're willing to lose. And while you're at it, have your brain management in place. No FOMO, no ROMO. Pain doesn't come from the market, it comes from your reaction to the market. And right now, we have some huge gap downs. Huge gap downs on the pound pairs. I smell opportunity here. So I'm alerting you. The market's only been open about 7 minutes, 8 minutes here. So I just happened to be in front of the computer. I looked at it. I said, I better make a video. You can see here how far down we are, and we're moving off of that low. Hopefully, maybe it'll come up 10 or 20 pips, and you can make some profit. And here, once again, you can see that huge gap down. And here again, look at all these inside bars we have going on this month. A lot of them. For the day, we only have 2 opportunities here. And for the week, we have about a handful. It just started once again, the range here. Already on the Euro New Zealand, we got 51 pip range. That's just huge. And once again, you can see here what it looks like. There's the pivot. It's way above the buy zone. So obviously, we've got a long bias at the moment here. Oh, this is pretty interesting here on the rat zone, and the range is too low. But caution, do not reverse. Once again, here's the weekly pivot, 122.21. And the monthly pivot, 124.66. I believe we've already hit that before. And let's see here. Can we plot out the daily pivot? And as we're waiting for a tick to come through. And there's our daily pivot right here, 121.55. Okay, on the dailies, you see we've got a couple of missed pivots, one for today so far, and one from Thursday, and then one from 10 days ago. And on the weekly, we missed last week's, we missed 3 weeks ago, and so far today. So who knows, maybe we can take out some of these missed pivots. We got 2 for the year so far. Notice this one here got taken out. Wick zones, we're well below the wick zone. Maybe it'll creep back into it. The Walmart trade here, this time it tried to bump through the 90 and got reversed. Here we go once again, green at the line, price action. You just have to take the trade and go with it. Now, you look at this, and if you're a trader, you're probably going to do some analysis. And you're going to think, should I take this trade? Shouldn't I take this trade? Why should I take this trade? Why shouldn't I? You got all this analysis. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how much analysis you do. Once you put the trade on, either you're going to exit with the profit or you're going to exit with the loss. And it's almost futile to think that you're going to be able to, quote unquote, guess each trade. I mean, it just really seems like it could be a futile endeavor. because there's how many of hundreds or thousands of participants in this market when you're trading, and to try and figure out with any degree of certainty, bordering over 50%, you're almost fooling yourself. And that's why that risk management's so important. And we kind of talked about it last week. You can't really think about any particular trade. It can't be that any one particular trade cannot be that important to you or to your portfolio. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for a lot of that pain we talked about. You should have the attitude, I go long here, and either it's going to hit my stop loss or I'm going to take profit. And that's it. Just leave it at that. But to, live and die by every tick, you're not doing yourself or your body any good. I mean, every tick up, you're elated, and every tick down, you're sad, or vice versa if you're trading short. I mean, right here, if I had taken this trade at 90 and I put my stop loss in, it just hit 79, I could be out of that trade. But should I care? I mean, it's just one trade. So when you're trading, you really have to take those things that will cause you to have emotions out of it. I mean, so long as you put your stop loss in, you can walk away from the trade. I mean, the only thing that could happen is if you haven't put your stop loss in and there's a failure, then you could get wiped out. But so long as you put that stop loss in, the pretty much the worst thing that could happen. Now, of course, if you had held over the weekend, and let's say you had entered at 21.20 and you had your stop at 21.10, well, guess what? You just got killed because you held over the weekend and the market gapped on you. So you probably don't want to do that. But it's just something to just really consider when you're trading. And let's see, there's some questions out there. Dragon money management. I went to the indicator and I got the Dragon money management text. I can't, it's kind of hard finding stuff on Crestlick sometime. I'm going to see if I can find it, and I can get you the direct link. But when I wrote the Dragon money management indicator, I had copied his verbiage and I put it in under the code, or in the bottom of the code, just so in case I wanted to refer to it while coding or sometime down the road, I could do that. But I forgot to put the link to it in there, and that's just something that I like to do when I'm doing something based on somebody else's idea. That way, you can know where the original idea came from. I'm just implementing it in MT4 code. I'm trying to think where there's some other questions out there. Oh, let's see on the those squiggly lines. Somebody, I was teasing them about squiggly lines, and it's those lines that down here you could see like an RSI or stochastic or something, or up here you'll see a moving average or Bollinger Bands. They're squiggly. They're not horizontal or straight or flat. They wiggle. They're squigglies. And so, like here, these are just on the map. These are just, horizontal lines. Oh, and by the way, in the Crestlick Motherlode, I uploaded an updated wall mall freebie because there was a couple of indicators. I think Sweet Spots was one that I had updated. And I also put in the latest version of TROHL5. So you guys might want to download it. But chances are there's nothing in the updated version that's going to affect anything on your charts. Like I said, you had to have a certain set of parameters set for you to see the one thing that wasn't working quite correctly. And so you can see here, here's all these candle tops and then one bottom that haven't been taken out by a candle. But as we go back and look at this market open today, once again, there's lots of opportunities here, and you can see some have filled. Now, are they all going to fill? I don't know. Possibly, maybe. And since I don't know, but since I know statistically they usually fill, I'm willing to risk whatever my risk is for a particular trade. And if I get stopped out, oh well. And if I get the gap fill, hey, that's just pips in my pocket. Can I tell you what's going to happen now? Yes, I can. Either I'm going to get stopped out or I'm going to get pips in my pocket. I mean, that's it. And it's kind of interesting. I was looking at some other traders' work out there, and it's just really interesting the length some people will go to try and beat the market. I think it's pretty cool because sometimes I get ideas from them, but sometimes people take things, I think, a little too far. Maybe somebody could say that about me, but most of my calculations are something minus something else, and then running a frequency distribution on that difference. I mean, to me, it's not very complex. Oh yeah, somebody was asking me about some code, and I do believe 2020 donationals has the latest frequency distribution indicator with all the bells and whistles. So if you have that one, you really don't need the rest. Let me think. Is there anything else out there? Any questions? Not that I can think of at the moment. Or there might have been one nagging one from last week. Oh, the people who are requesting I code in MT5, um, I have no reason to. Now, if somebody really wants me to code in MT5, I mean, you really want me to, then send me a computer and set up an account with like, I don't know, a couple $100 in it for me, and then I'll code in MT5. Now, you might think I'm being crazy or funny, but actually, years ago, there was one guy who wanted something so bad he actually bought me a computer so I would have the computer to code what he wanted because that's just how bad he wanted it. Now, I don't really need a computer. I don't really want another computer. But, if there's something cool out there, I'd take it, of course. But if somebody really wants me to code, start converting code over to MT5, you got to make it worth my while. Otherwise, I'm happy doing MT4. But I was looking around. I do believe there's some MT4 to MT5 converters. I don't know how good they are, but if most of you guys have my source code, you could Google MT4 to MT5 converter, try running it through the source code through that converter and see if it works or not. I mean, that's, the worst possible thing is it doesn't work. But if it works, hey, you're that far ahead of the game. Google can be your friend. It's a good tool for certain things. But if you don't like Google, I'm sure there's other searches like Bing or was it DuckDuckGo or something you can use to find things on the internet. But so I think that pretty much covers everything. Okay, traders. We're coming into what, the third week of the month, so we're halfway through this month. Hopefully, you guys are in the green for the month, and you non-binary traders and you female traders, I hope everybody's having a good month so far. And just remember, it's really about the risk. So long as you don't blow your risk parameters, you should be okay in the long run. And of course, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. And that being said, it's because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks this week.